Hello, Beardo Bloggins here, just doing another video, and this one, I want to talk a little bit about something called dissociation. People sometimes call it disassociation. I think they're synonymous from what I've been researching on it, but I think it's more commonly known as dissociation. It can be a condition in itself. There's things like dissociative identity disorders and stuff like that, but it does come part and parcel of things like ADHD, Asperger's, autism, and other, a bunch of other mental health conditions. So it can be, it's a symptom of quite a few things, so it will, part and parcel of several things. Obviously from my, so I should say what dissociation is. It's basically where your mind and body kind of disconnect from each other. Your mind kind of disconnects from what's going on around you, basically. So it's usually linked to stress or trauma, or both, and it's almost like a, I guess, protection mechanism. Just get up the definition quickly. So, for example, I'm reading off the Mind website here. They're a mental health charity who you should check out if you don't know them already. They're a pretty decent charity. They say if you dissociate, you may feel disconnected from yourself and the world around you. For example, you may feel detached from your body or feel as though the world around you is unreal. And they say everyone's experience of dissociation is different. Dissociation is one way the mind copes with too much stress, such as during a traumatic event. There are also common everyday experiences of dissociation that you may have. Examples of this are when you become so absorbed in a book, film, you lose awareness of your surroundings, or when you drive a familiar route and arrive at your destination without memory of how you got there. Those couple of examples where you get absorbed in a book or a film, I definitely can relate to, or TV shows. Yeah, I do have episodes where time just kind of disappears. You sit down to do one thing and then suddenly 4 or 5 hours later have gone by, and it's, you've done nothing basically but watch TV or do something. And I don't think, this is just, obviously I'm going into anecdotal stories here, but I just kind of zone out almost. It's almost, like I say, it's a bit of a disconnect between your body and your mind, and kind of external stuff. I can sometimes just lose a couple of hours, well, sort of, I don't know. Some people might call it autopilot. It's a bit like being in a blank state. You kind of just not really fully aware of anything particularly, and you're not really absorbing what's going on around you, and you don't really have any kind of awareness of what's happening around you, and you just kind of like are not really aware of anything going on. Basically, you just yeah, like I said, it's almost like autopilot. You just kind of zone out, and your body, your body just does what it does, basically. For me, dissociation, I think I miss a lot of important day-to-day stuff when I dissociate. So sometimes jobs that need doing around the house or in the garden or whatever, it's kind of hard to keep a track of what you've done and what you haven't done, because you kind of it's almost a bit like that. When you went to a room, you can't remember why you've entered the room, but not. I don't know if that's the right example, but you, yeah, I find it very easy just to zone out. Yeah, I think the other place that I do it is in social stuff. Like if I'm out with friends, or if I'm at a family gathering, or whatever. My mum says, I think the last time we were at a family gathering, my mum came to me afterwards and said she could tell when I had enough, because I always had this blank, well, not blank look on my face, but kind of like she could tell that maybe I'd dissociated and disconnected, just by, my face and my body language, and you almost go into a bit of a trance almost. Is probably a better way of describing it. Some days it is easier to trigger than others, almost. And you just kind of sit and zone out for a bit. You can tell when the mask has slipped off, because your face just goes, and you look a bit like a bit of a zombie. And yeah, your face just kind of drops into zombie mode, basically. I can't think of any other examples where maybe, I suppose the driving thing that I mentioned probably happens quite a lot. If it's somewhere I know, or that sounds really bad, doesn't it? I don't do good driving. Forget that. Yeah, so I'm just looking over at the Mind website again. So it's saying it's a natural response to trauma. Can't necessarily control it. Yeah, everyday stressful situations. It's a symptom of various mental health problems. PTSD, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder. It's part of certain cultural religious practices. Yeah, so it's more common than people think. Yeah, the Mind website is a pretty good resource for mental health stuff. So always recommend going on there and reading up about stuff as a starting point. I'll link down below. Yes, there's also all sorts of other conditions associated with dissociating or dissociative. It says stuff like dissociative amnesia, having gaps in your memory where you can't remember certain events, remembering information about yourself or life history, forget to do something you've always been able to do well in the past, find that you have items that you don't remember owning. That's all dissociative amnesia. I feel like that. Yeah. Those first 2 points, gaps in your memory, you can't remember certain events, not being able to remember information about yourself or history. I definitely have that. Anyway, I've been rambling enough, and that will do. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, so there's going to be stuff coming. I'm going to be doing more and more regular content, hopefully, towards the end of the month and then through March. So yeah, look out for that, and I'll see you in the next one.